Welcome back, my beautiful people. This is Onslaught Gaming 40K, as always, live today to talk about Grand Onslaught 10, how to master the missions at the event, what the event is all about, and what you can expect at Go 10. Stay ready and locked and loaded, my peoples. We are back at it. What's up, my peoples? What's up, my man, my main man?
Not much, glad to be back. Excited to talk about, an event this weekend.
Super excited. We're going to delve into Grand Onslaught 10, but before we get started, we're just going to talk about our weekend, anything in 40K, and then we'll delve into the event itself that I am going to be hosting and organizing. Grand Onslaught 10, tons of prizes, 2 tickets to WCW, 2 tickets to Crucible. But what do you feel right now in the world of 40K? Like, what's your news for today, brother?
My news is I'm just trying to figure out where the lowly Tyranid belongs in this meta, because boy, is it confusing. Boy, and it is. It's kind of the weird thing where, like, if you skew too far one way, you kind of leave yourself open to others.
Yep.
And there's a lot of stuff going on right now, mostly on the deeper end of the swimming pool, we'll call it, with those high toughness, lots of wounds. But it's rough trying to figure out if I want to stay with Vanguard, go back to Invasion Fleet. I don't know what he's talking about. We don't have time for that right now.
The dice incident up north? Yes, we did. I did, at least.
Is that, toilet dice? Okay. Yeah. I heard about that. You said dice incident? I'm like, that is so vague.
That's what they're all called from now on. Anytime you like doing, you're cheating with dice or just toilet dice. But he did not throw them in the toilet this time.
They weren't cheating dice. They were gag dice.
There you go. They were magical. They were just magical.
They were gag dice that had 2 6s on them instead of a 1 and a 6.
Yeah, that's just unfortunate, right? Especially a gentleman of his stature, his age as well. Mm-hmm. Like that's just too much drama for me.
Yep, that's.
And apparently, it's the going rate right now in the world of 40K is just to be like a cheater in the game of 40K, and it's okay. And then you could come back a year later. But a lot of people, I've been seeing the flip side of the coin too, where a lot of people have been getting like heavily ostracized as well, and people getting threats, TOs getting threats and things like that. So it's kind of getting a little bit crazy.
My 2 cents for all that's worth, is that this is a game, people. And one, if you need to cheat to enjoy it, maybe find a different game to play, first of all. Yeah. And secondly, if it bothers you that much that someone cheated, that you're sending threats to another human being with nothing to do with it, maybe you too find a different game to play, because holy crap, it's not that serious. I don't like being cheated. I don't like being taken advantage of. But I'm also not going to call and blame some guy who spent, 3 weeks or 6 months to set up that event and tell him that he overlooked one thing he had no way of knowing about and threatening his health or well-being about it. That is a lot. That's a lot. Yeah. But anyways, off of that, thank you, Anime, for that wonderful icebreaker. You are the bastion of good news on this channel. No, me, I'm actually a little, cold on the current 40K meta. Work's been keeping me busy, been, keeping me prisoner from my passions. What about you, though? You have a lot bigger finger on the pulse, running events every weekend, seeing people.
Well, I haven't had the opportunity to play a lot of games because I've been running a lot as of lately. A lot of GTs getting prepared for the GT coming up this weekend. Hence why we have this entire episode. And then Crucible Crucible's about a month and a half from now, a month and 3 weeks. So preparation for that as well, right? Like I'm working on the back end, got a bunch of new sponsors. So I'm really doing the administrative side of things instead of actually playing and participating in the game. But I'm always in the game, which is beneficial to me because I'm always watching people play the game. I'm always getting questioned about the game rules. So I'm always understanding the interactions and whatnot.
Do you deny these allegations?
No, I haven't gone undefeated, dude. Like I've been trying different lists. So I've been trying still to get the right list. But I think I found it. But I'm close. I'm close to 9-0.
120 cultists and 1 demon prince. The list.
Listen, that's a lie. You guys can always expect for me to never ever show up with 120 miniatures, let alone me paint 120 miniatures. It's just not gonna happen, dude. I still have World Eaters I've had forever. I still not painted just because.
I have 90 Gene Stealers, and I only need 30 of them in any given list I have. Guess how many are painted?
All of
31, because I broke one.
Thank you. I appreciate it, MTG. You broke one? Was that the painted one?
Yeah, one of them. I have the worst luck. It fell on the floor and someone stepped on it. Not the first time that's happened to me.
That's the worst.
That also happened to a demon head of mine. So I don't know what happened.
True indeed. All right, so they're calling me out here. So
MTG, we don't gray shame on this channel, okay?
No. Well, they must have seen my army. At least 5,000 points of orcs is painted. But hold up. See, you say 5,000 points of orcs are painted. That's like half of a competitive list. Because you're not using all of that for that competitive list. Because there's different types of archetypes for orcs.
Wait, you're not bringing 5,000 points to a 2,000 point game? What are you even doing? This is why people only use dice to cheat. You can just cheat with points. No one checks.
Listen, that's the smartest way to do it, right? Most tournament organizers just tell you to submit their list in the day of, right? And you walk in there, you're like 2,400 points.
I have never put a Spore Mine in a list I've submitted, and I've used Spore Mines in every single game I've played. Never been carded on. Don't ask any more questions.
Shout out to Caesar. Love that guy. He said he's just on his cell phone.
I didn't know he played Magic. Oh boy.
Me either. Now I gotta shame him.
I gotta invite him. I just got into Magic. Yeah.
You did, didn't you? For the Final Fantasy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that before. A ton of people apparently been jumping on that for that.
I was actually going to say I need to pay him a visit because speaking of unpainted models, I need to go get some and paint them. But onto the subject matter, reasons we paint models is to take them to events and get those juicy 10 points per round.
Yes.
And at an event like this, if that's 50 points for the event, or Crucible, it'd be 70 points, which you might be good. You're not playing with a 50 or 70 point handicap good and still winning.
Dude, 70 points is a win, a buy win.
Exactly.
So,
hold on. I want to. Oh.
Like 1,700 points of Niz sitting in the boxes.
I know. I need to go get. Problem is, I wanted to. I honestly did, and I still do. And they keep making me work my day off, which sounds bad, except they pay me overtime all day to do it.
Which is good.
Which really is more minis in the future. You get what I'm saying.
Exactly. Read between.
we got to fuel our habits. But no, I'm actually super excited. I'm actually super excited to go visit Caesar. Me and him always have great games. He's a gentleman and an absolute menace to play against. happiest guy you'll ever see. Just absolutely will wreck you the entire time. It's great.
Yeah. I'll just give him some meat. I'll be the mule.
But yeah, no, it's great to have, and honestly, that's part of the fun about the show for me. Just as a personal note, seeing all my friends, talking with them, making jokes. This is what I miss for the community. I'm looking forward to. I have three events, scheduled for this fall season. For those of you keeping track, that is 3 times as many I've gone to all year. That's how busy I've been. But I'm super excited to get back out. Spend time with you in person, with Caesar, Anime. It's gonna be great. Fail at watching people pass all their battle shocks because it's a funny mechanic. But no, I'm super excited, for this weekend because even though I don't go, I have friends who go. I have a couple of friends going to this event. I believe it's the first of its name. Brand new, never been done before.
Sure, yeah. First,
the inaugural Grand Onslaught 10. There's never been another one.
So many others. So, Grand Onslaught 10, super excited. I can't wait to see everyone, but I am mad that I'm not going to be able to see Thomas Reigel, the man without opinions, or with opinions, rather. Maybe today. I don't know.
Oh, no, I do have a pit. You put Purge the Foe in there again, and I just knew you were hoping I could make it.
Yes.
We'll get to it later, but you just this is for him.
And just to break it down to everyone, what he's talking about, right? We're going to do a walkthrough on the missions, do some tactical advisories and things like that. But super excited about the event. There's a bar in complete walking distance. We'll reiterate that later on as well. It's going to be a catered event. They actually have a restaurant there, so you'll be able to grab your food. So those of you who are not participating and just watching, hopefully you're eating your heart out. This is what I like to bring to the community of 40K here in the state of Florida. We're also giving away 2 golden tickets for WCW, 2 tickets for Crucible. Crucible is the big super major of Florida. So you'll have an opportunity to participate at both of those events. Obviously, Crucible will be before the finale, which is WCW, or like I like to call it, the final alien or boss in the game that you end up playing, right? Which is WCW. Tons of people are coming. Your friends, come out there, meet new friends. Tons of prizes. We have tons of sponsorships. We're gonna have props, trophies, cash prizes, Baron of Dice. We're gonna have an actual vendor there selling product. So much entertainment, so much space. Actually, I just finished doing the floor plans today too. You're gonna have 18 feet, 16 feet, right? And 2 players are gonna be on that 16 feet, meaning each group of players will have 3 feet each to just lay their stuff on. So you're gonna have a ton of room, a ton of breathing room. So super excited, man! I can't wait to this weekend. I wish you were coming, man, and. So
you should have led with that. You tell people bar, catered event, food, and you're going to have 3 feet of room on either side. That's going to fill out your roster right there.
That's what people love. Dude, so many people are like, "Oh, I love that event because of the bar," right? Yes.
Wait. What's the AC situation look like?
The AC is great.
Okay, well, that you tell people it's a cold room with alcohol, space, and food in the middle of July. You good? You got them.
Golden.
Real quick, I just want to point out, because you're a fairly humble man when you want to be. As we all heard, it took him all of just this afternoon to lay all that out, to get all the sponsors together, to organize the day there, and draw up the floor plan. He did all of that just in today. So be sure to thank him for his, just swift action in arranging this for all of us, the community, to go enjoy, because it isn't free, and aside from showing up early to set up and staying late to break down, there are many, many hours that go into this, 2-day event for, the community. I say us, I'm not going, but us to partake in and, have fun with. So,
yeah,
there's a lot of unseen labor.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate that a lot. I appreciate the love always. This is a thankless job, as we've all known who's ever been in a position like this. This is a thankless job. There are people always that are always thankful. I just want people to be happy. I just want people to have a great experience, to be quite honest with you. So, no, thank you to everyone.
Tell them all they all win. They all win best in faction, and they all get 100 points in every game. They'll all be happy.
We are doing best in faction medals, some prizes, some swag to add to that. Dude, there's so much that's going to be at this Grand Onslaught 10. It's just phenomenal, man. So you're going to get your $85 worth at this event. You're going to
if only there was a step-by-step guide they could like listen to and see to like understand what's all going to,
Absolutely.
Or maybe some kind of like digital page thing they could like go through themselves on their own time to.
Well, you know how you were saying that I whipped this all up earlier today, right?
You said that. I was reiterating.
Oh, okay. My bad. I said that. Allow me to retort with some tactical mastery and show you what Grand Onslaught 10 is all about to all the peoples, right? Whip that up in 2 seconds. So 2 seconds. All right. Done. So, Grand Onslaught 10. This is going to be day 1. We're going to go through this PDF, show you. So hopefully everyone is able to see my mouse. If you're on audio, I will try to be as concise and detailed as possible. But basically, we're going to just talk about the days, their missions, the layouts, and why I set these layouts and the missions exactly how they are, in the chronological order that they are in, and the missions themselves. That way, you understand and set yourself up for success going to Grand Onslaught 10 over the weekend. And maybe I help out 1 or 2 people just understand how to deal with this deployment and this mission at the same time. And Reigel will definitely help you. See, I'm a maybe, definitely for Reigel, though. He's got you. He's the man with opinions.
They are objectively correct opinions at that.
Correct. And they're correct. That's right. Always. So, Mission J. Mission J is going to be your first mission on day 1. Now, why do I say GW layout 1 or 6? I wanted to give you all the opportunity to get some variety, right? It's very stale to me. In my opinion, you go to an event, right? I don't want to shame any particular event, but if you can think of it, you'll probably know exactly what I'm talking about. You go to the event, and literally every single row is a new layout. And it stays like that throughout the entire event. So you might end up playing on layout 1 through the entire event, all 7, 8, 9 rounds. Instead of that, I wanted to give you more variety, a little bit of spice of life, by making every single odd number layout 1 and every single even number layout 6. And accordingly and respectfully, so table 1, table 2, 3, 4, 1 goes to the odd, table 1, 2 goes, or 6 goes to table 2, and so forth and so forth. So hopefully everyone gets an opportunity to move around and do both of the layouts. Linchpin on search and destroy, right? So linchpin on search and destroy. And we're going to get into the layout and mission J itself. So what do you want to talk about exactly with this mission itself? Reigel?
Well, with linchpin and on layout 1, one of the most important things is holding your home. That is kind of, the linchpin of your entire scoring plan. And if you notice, your entire deployment zone is just free real estate for deep strikes, rapid ingresses, all kinds of stuff. Even leapfrogging, units that can advance and charge can go from that middle L to charging onto your home objective if they're, quick enough. They like Eldar could easily make that.
Yep.
So defending your home is just top priority. Screening, keeping backfield screens. Also, that means pressuring your opponent's backfield screens.
Yes.
This is, in my opinion, I play Tyranids. I'm very much I personally am a deep strike abusing player. With any army, demons, Tyranids, even Necrons. When I played them, I love using the odd deep strike angles. So that's usually my plan, is kind of lock down my home, lock down my natural expansion, the ones on the other ruin there on your side of the table.
Yep.
And then from there, kind of just threaten the middle without overexposing, and then doing what I can to deny their points and getting back near them, which for me looks like gargoyles and lictors. Gargoyles take that enemy expansion usually 2 times out of a game, and lictors are great for just running back and just slicing into a 5-man, scout squad or sisters unit, 10 Gretchen, whatever.
You know what they're also great for? For deep striking and enemy deployment zones, like right here, to harass them in their deployment zone.
Yep, because and now not specifically of Tyranids, but other like knights, for example. You can put a knight right there on that where the 2 L's touch next to your home objective, with the tip still touching. Yep, with the tip still holding your home, and then you have massive lines of sight to about 60% of the table. With just Chaos Knights and Imperial Knights. Yep. And those are very good in the meta right now. You were talking before the show. They are some of the top performing armies, so you're going to see them if you 1 play and 2 perform well.
Also, something I wanted to point out. Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry. I don't want to cut you off. You make sure you give them all you got.
I was just going to finish off by saying Knights are also one of those that move a lot faster than you think just by being able to go through walls. So you might think you're safe somewhere, and alley-oop, there's a rampage or a lancer, charging through something, risking the battle shocks. So yeah, and this isn't so much specifically matchup from this is any unit could theoretically go through a wall with the challenger cards.
Yep.
So it's just always something to keep in mind just in case.
And that's another complaint for another day. Don't get me started with challenger cards.
Look, we were just making people aware. We're moving right along. Keep it going.
So something I wanted to point out for this one, right? In particular, linchpin is a set your game up, set the weekend up, set the event up weekend in a very comfortable way. You could probably say take and hold is probably more comfortable. I think take and hold is just too ubiquitous. I think it's used way too often, and it's just too bland. So linchpin is probably gives you a little bit of more spice to that, right? And I like spice of life, and that's not a personal thing. That's just to make the game and the event a little bit better, right? Make sure that it brings out the best out of people. So with that being said, on layout 1, I made sure that when I selected this mission with this particular deployment, right, that you were able to hold certain objective markers with unimpeded, right, without being targeted. Specifically this one right here, right next to your expansion, your homes, vice versa for this end right here. If you're on this deployment end for the red side, you obviously have one centered here, but you can position a lot of your army behind here and behind here. If you have infiltrating scouting units right here, obviously for your any type of units, smaller units, things like 3-man 8-bound, for example. That's what I would put right there, or maybe a spawn unit. Right, go ahead, brother.
It's primo territory right there. That just towing onto that, within range. Move, possibly getting within range of the objective.
Mm-hmm.
Lone operative, combi lieutenant, who if you kill him once, he can stand right. That thing is super annoying on layout 1 for that exact reason.
Demon Prince with lone op as well, right?
Yep.
Which is another one as well. So yeah. So position yourself, look at this deployment zone and set yourself up for success, right? Break down what the ruins are, how all the objectives are kind of seen. And if you're using like tabletop battle apps and things like that, you can see that on the app. Be cognizant of that. Look at this and say, okay, maybe I'm going against a horde army, and I don't want to position myself into 3 different quadrants, right? Like you don't want to go here. Let's use a different color. So you don't want to go here. You don't want to go here and live here, right? Maybe you just want to go to these 2 different quadrants and successfully hold this down and pressure the center itself. Remember, you don't always have to go for all of the objective markers. Be patient, be intelligent in your choices, and make the right position decisions, right? Go ahead, Reigel.
No, I think you covered it pretty well. There's, I think you're right. Linchpin is, we did an episode a while back, going over all the missions and complexities. And I still stick with, what I said then is that Linchpin it's just taking hold with just a little more learning curve of hold your home.
It is.
Because in take and hold, you could lose your home and just hold the 3 center and trade homes. And linchpin, and like Struggle Bus said here, you cannot. If you lose, that is such, unless you can do it back to them the next turn, you are just almost like in a deficit you will not crawl out of.
It's a good mission for indirect fire as well, right? And Purge the Foe, which we'll talk about later.
But going on to the second round after lunch, notably.
This is actually the same. So this is still mission 1. This is just on layout 6.
Okay, I see.
So this is still day 1, just layout 6. I wanted to show just a little small breakdown. Obviously, this is a completely different layout. This is layout 6. You're going to have your search and destroy section, right? But another reason why I chose this mission, another mission that allows you to hide your units, right? You can hold objectives, position your units here, potentially maybe have a unit strung out here. And then you can actually hold this objective marker, maybe another unit, you pressure or advance a unit over here, turn 1, turn 2 to hold this objective marker. And always you have the center objective marker. So, but this is a firing lane. That's the difference between 1 and 6. 1 is shooty as well when you get to the center, but 6 is a lot more shootier, right? You got more lanes over here to actually fire at units holding this objective marker. So it's going to be more of a challenge if you're going into a shootier army. Be cognizant of that.
Something about this layout specifically that and it's with these the position of these objectives is I actually make my natural expansion. I commit very little to the one you would think is my natural, and I actually make a hard push to kind of turn the table. Yeah, instead of doing it like hammer and anvil, I do it the other way. I do it, I try to turn the table.
Dawn of War.
I turn it into a Dawn of War, because then if you look, you can hold it behind that wall, and the firing lane is useless.
True.
And you might think, oh, well, you're closer to the deployment zone, and that's, why I make a bigger push there, while just putting like a token, lone operative and maybe one unit of like warriors or gene stealers that'll go harass them for a turn. And then by turn 3 or 4, I give up on it. I'm like, cool, glad you committed taking mine. I have like 1,500 points on what is yours now. So, oh boy.
So this is actually Scorched Earth on day 1, round 2. Scorched Earth. You're a big fan of Scorched Earth, aren't you? I know you're a bigger fan than the next one, but I know you genuinely like this one.
I do. I love Scorched Earth because, man, 6-inch lone op lictors are just the dumbest thing. But I do also like it because it's one of the few missions where going second actually might not hold an advantage if you pressure early. Because in a lot of missions, if you pressure early, you lose more of your army or at least more resources. And so late game, you just give them 15 points because you don't have the legs to hold it. But in this, if you burn 2 and God forbid 3 of the No Man's Land objectives, turn 5 don't matter. If you like, because at that point you just got to worry about holding your home, which you're already incentivized to do anyway, to keep them from burning it. So I actually do like this because the turn 1 versus turn 2 deficit can be offset if you keep your lead for 2 or 3 turns.
Yep, true indeed. And knowing when to actually burn these objective markers too, right, is one of the biggest things. A lot of people either ignore them or burn them immediately. Have the proper type of timing throughout your game. And telling you that exact cadence, we will never know unless we're actually playing the game. But I can give you some tips, right? If they're not pressuring these areas in whatever quadrant it might be, did my mouse go dead? Yeah, my mouse went dead. Whatever quadrant it may be, right? Try if they're not pressuring that area, try to go protect that area or get that area. Maybe you put a unit here, right? Maybe you put a unit here to kind of get away from fire. Go ahead, brother. Talk to me. Unit here.
For me, I always try to pace it out. Like turn 2, I almost always, if I can, burn their natural expansion if they kind of played a little more passive because they were afraid of a turn 1 charge or whatever, I'll just stage and I'll hide where you're saying right there where they can't see me.
Yep.
And then, force them to come out and stop it. So then my turn 1 charge is to turn 2 charge and nothing changed. Or they just have to accept that it's going to go bye-bye and have to fight on the top half of the board now. And that's another way like to use pressure is you can put out, a spawn unit, not necessarily a lone op, something that's going to force a commitment from them and then hit them anyway, because either they accept that it's going away or they're going to lose a resource.
A resource anyways. Yep. No, true statements. True statements. Mine is all about positioning, right? Putting people in position to hold these objectives, because that's what people want to do at the end of the day is they want to win the game, get the points. But yeah, no, accurate statement. Moving on to same one, right? Just broken down a little bit differently. That way we don't keep on beating the horse dead, right? We know that these missions are going to be very similar when it comes to the different layouts. But just to talk about it, right? Setups. So another thing about positioning here. So you all have the opportunities to hold units, hide units, and actually hold these objective markers. And this is going to what Reigel was talking about, holding the objective for the expansion that is the enemies. But go ahead, brother.
Oh, something I just want to point out, like, rather than, the linchpin, you'll notice that the non-center no man's land objectives are actually on the front end of the wall. They're no longer in that blue section.
Correct.
So these are actually much more defensible for either whether you turn it into Dawn of War or keep it Hammer and Anvil. As you were saying, with the multiple spots to hide. The center one is a killing zone, and unless you are super confident you're going to win that war, I would highly suggest just accepting that that's going to be there, because any equally skilled opponent, and I always like to assume I'm fighting someone of equal skill, not better or worse, is going to match you tit for tat, which means if you go there first, you will always be down an extra resource than them. Now, whether or not that's worth it, like if you're playing GSE, for example, and you're just going to recycle it anyway to force interaction, maybe. If you're playing Custodes, I would weigh that a bit more heavily.
Yeah, because you don't have the units to trade. Yeah.
Exactly. So, that's just something that, on this one, you have to really, really be ahead.
Yep.
But I would still, consider what's better for you, either a Dawn of War or Hammer and Anvil. And that's, goes into understanding the tempo of the game, your army's advantages versus the opponent's disadvantages, and their unit choice and how their list plays. Way too advanced for us to give you a coverall band-aid and how to do it.
Like if they're a fast army, Eldar, World Eaters, and things like that, contrary to what people really think, you want to pressure those armies. You want to pressure those armies as quick as possible, right? And so you probably want to turn it into a Dawn of War and start positioning yourself in this manner, right? Down here. And position and have a tempo down here, right? So,
keep in mind, pressure doesn't always mean put something out there and force them to come kill it. It could be threat projection. Things like a stratagem to advance in charge. So something is set up behind a ruin that is relatively uninteractable, but they can go, instead of going 6, they can threaten 18 inches. So there's a lot of threatening is more than just putting your units out to die to force something of theirs to come out.
Yeah, if you're leaving it Hammer and Anvil, you could put units here, just to pressure them, right? Maybe they need to come out. Maybe they want to come out and try to fire at this unit. So there are different ways to actually apply pressure. But it's all about cadence at the end of the day.
And before we get to this next mission, I was going to bring this up, but, MTG Struggle Bus. Yeah, reactive moves and lone op and also infiltrators or scouts are fantastic. There's fantastic rules in general.
Yeah.
And so on both these missions, they are great to get that field priority. And going into this next mission, lone ops and reactive moves to get you out of the line of fire are going to absolutely be valuable. What's the next mission there, General Slaughter?
Your favorite. Yay! Purge the foe. So it's Mission M on layouts 1 and 6 as usual. And this is going to be the first one on Crucible of Battle. So as people are starting to notice, right? We had Search and Destroy. We had Tipping Point. Now Crucible of Battle. We're going to repeat the cycle on day 2 with Tipping Point and Crucible of Battle. Only one variant of Search and Destroy. Search and Destroy can be sometimes a very unbalanced deployment because of the range or the lack thereof range that you don't have between the two table ends or the two deployment zones. Because they're only 18 inches, I didn't want to go crazy on that and people just tech into just faster armies or armies that are just sit there and be super resilient. You get people to actually start building and constructing lists to tailor to that. So I didn't want to create that type of archetypes at the event. But on Mission M, Purge the Foe, which is Reigel's favorite, he hates it, honestly. But this is another one. So why don't you take the floor on this one, since you have so much passion and love for this mission, and then I'll just chip in.
I'm fueled by spite. I've never lost a Purge the Foe match, and it's all spite. I just want everyone to know that. It's not skill. Do not mistake it for skill. So a couple of important things. And the reason I brought up the Infiltrator Scout Lone Op thing was, one, it's, the rules I myself abuse, but two, if you notice on the two singular rectangles on the top left hand and bottom right hand, that line doesn't quite fill them out. So if you have a scouting unit, you could very easily, or an infiltrators, go into that nook. Yep, right there, and the mirror on the bottom. Yeah, you could absolutely, pre-game position and threaten your natural expansion relatively consequence-free. There's very little opponents can do immediately for that, and a lot of, and we've even said on here, there's a whole game theory about deployment and first turn movement to whether set you up for success or, defeat in a game. And in missions like Purge the Foe that can be very divisive based on army matchup and deployment, this is probably one of the most pronounced versions of that. Old Terraform was probably worse, but that's kind of been toned down. Yeah. Another thing here, you can deploy right up to the 30-inch line, long ways. You're halfway through those ruins. If you touch them, you can be seen, but you can deploy like 26, 27 inches up and be relatively invisible. They have a long bomb from their side, but if you put a Lone Op there, even Lone Op 18, they'll be safe from most. And now you're also threatening their natural expansion relatively safely,
which is right there. Yep.
Like a demon, like a Emperor's Children Demon Prince with wings with just an infantry unit in that home thing, so they can hold their home and give their guy Lone Op. He's threatening both center and enemy's expansion with almost no consequence. So that's just my
units as well are good in a good position. Yep.
And then as we said, it's that the two L's in the center are just great staging points for infiltrators. What are the World Eater infiltrators? The newer ones that came out in the Kill Team?
Goremongers, and this is called the House La Casa. The Goremongers. Yeah,
the Goremongers. You don't if you're confident and you're not afraid of retaliation, you can put them in there, an inch off the wall or whatever. But even outside of that, not touching the ruins so they can't be seen by guns or anything, you can stand there, and even if you're not looking to necessarily hold the center, you could get things like recover assets. Is very, very easily missed turn one thing. Of note, you can also get recover assets in those two little L's I talked about in the beginning because they are outside your deployment zone. Fun fact. So you don't have to try and go somewhere hard to stay alive. You can just hide right there.
Sabotage as well, right there. Yep.
The only other thing that I would caution people that immediately off the top of my head, that's a general advice and not army specific, is look at how massive your deployment zone is. Screening is going to be key to not get snuck up on and get got.
Yep.
Because boy, howdy, can you get got in this? And this, I believe, this is the largest deployment zone we have now.
I don't know. Tipping Point seems larger, to be honest with you. This seems like you have abilities to kind of screen out smaller areas. I think Tipping Point, because Tipping Point is usually like this, right? Has larger areas, like
maybe
larger fields. But anyways,
but it is big chunky. So people can get back there, score a little 5-man GS unit with hand flamers could obliterate your home objective if you're not careful. And that's not even.
Go ahead, brother. Shout out to Tabletop Battle Apps, this is where I actually ripped all of these maps off of so I could show the objective markers on here. So shout out to them. Also, by design, why I selected this, right? Think about what you're doing when you're coming into this mission, Purge the Foe, right? If you start investing on these 3 No Man and No Man's Land objective markers, you're going to give your opponent free points. The name of the game on Purge the Foe is to get killed, all right? And how many units you're going to win that tally by. Don't think about it on the flip side of the coin. Wait till your opponent actually starts pressuring these or trying to hold these, and then start shooting them or fighting them. So put yourself in positions, just like Reigel was saying, right, over here. That way you can actually threaten this zone. That might not always work all the time, right? You might actually have a shooty army you might not be fighting, but you can have units that can hop out on this on the footprint, fire down here, have a firing lane down here as well, not through that objective marker, but or through the footprint. But all of these are in the open. There's nothing you can do about it, right? GW layout, GW mission. But what you need to do is actually look at it and articulate a path of victory by strategizing and maybe allowing them to come out, and then you fire upon them. So just something I wanted to point out real quick.
Oh, and on that note, there actually was one more. I lied, as I famously do. Something about this mission is, you said the name of the game is Getting Killed and Killing, but there are 2 components, and they're both equally important. Neither one is better than the other.
Yep.
I suppose killing could kind of be considered better because you can get 4 turn 1. You can't score primary turn 1, but
yeah.
Just be good and don't die turn 1. It's not hard, I promise.
Well, it just leans into it leans more into people, like we have a friend, right, who leans into kill more. It leans into people's preferences more.
Yeah. And on that, know what your army is good at. For example, with Tyranids, I am much better at holding and denying holding than I am at killing. So I only ever go for my kill 1 unless my opponent has clearly or the dice speak and just randomly spike for me. But my plan is always kill 1, set up to hold more, give them more problems so they can try to get back to parity, but also have to kill. That's why I personally, because Spore Mines count as a kill. If you ever play a Tyraniid player, you kill a Spore Mine, it's a kill point. It's awful.
It is.
It's fair for what us Tyraniid players do with those Spore Mines, but it feels bad. But know what your army excels at, either the holding or the killing, and try to do the bare minimum of 1 while getting the upper hand on the other. Now, if you feel like your army can do both to your opponent and you can steamroll them, because that's what that is at that point, by all means do that. But if you swing and miss and overextend, suddenly you're doing neither very good.
Yep. And also, if you walk into the match, right, for Mission M, for Purge the Foe, and you're going against an army that's a stat check or a D1 type of army. D1 is just defensive, high defensive type of army like Death Guard used to be. Probably what Custodes are now, Necrons, things like that. You run into those particular armies, you know that it's going to be more of a challenge to get those points. Try to focus, maybe castle up more, right? Try to focus and overkill units. That way you're not getting killed in return, just like Reigel was saying. You're not throwing out Spore Mines in a threatening area where your opponent can just easily kill it and get a point for it.
I'm so sorry, but this.
What happened? I can't see. I can't
my
see
army.
anything.
My army excels at failing 6-inch charges.
That's hilarious.
So
that's first and 1. Yep. Go ahead, brother. What were you gonna say?
The shorter my charges are, the worse I am. The longer my charges are, the more confident I get.
That's strange how that works out like that, right? That's like when I ran Terminators, I couldn't make a 2-up save, but I ran Harlequins and I could make 4-up invos all day. I was like, what the hell?
I tell people, don't ever make me make an armor save on my Hive Tyrant. I will fail it. It's only ever a 2 and a 3, and I fail them. Make me make my invulns, I'll pass those. The math does not work, but...
And your Field No Pains. I've seen you roll Field No Pains 5-ups like a champ.
Yeah, the worse it is, the better I am at it. Real quick, this is another point that is maybe not as obvious. I overlooked it because automatically clock it. But yes, if you go second on Purge the Foe, you have the information knowledge to know
100%.
how many you need to kill to get the kill points, and you're holding. But the trade-off is whoever goes first knows how many they need to hold to stop you from holding more.
Yep.
So both were required doing something, being in a place and taking out resources. It's just more of the, knowing which side of your army leans better to and adapting for it.
Which leans, shout out to MTG, shout out to Caesar, love you for that. Which leads me to tell you all, right, that going second in 40K right now is the way to go.
Stop it.
Going second is the way to go.
Stop it.
Seriously. Especially all the missions that we just talked about, Linchpin, Scorched Earth, and Purge the Foe, like all those you want to go second in. All of those you want to go second in. Maybe Scorched Earth, I can see an argument. Maybe in Terraform where we talk about that one, but everything is like second.
I'm a firm believer that going first in Linchpin is absolutely money.
That's what I'm saying. It's arguable. There's an argument for it. And Terraform too, because Terraform you could just pressure, take all 3 objectives, start terraforming, and then go ahead and remove my entire army. Go ahead. Good luck.
Now, on that note, going first or second is entirely luck dependent. So, if you want to go second almost every single time, just tell your opponent you roll off, give them a d20, and you roll a d4. So, unless you are supremely unlucky, you'll go second every time. Don't do that. That is also dice cheating.
Don't let me catch you doing that shit. So, going to the last mission of the day, it's going to be the same one, Purge the Foe, just on a different deployment type, which is going to be on Crucible of Battle. Now, this one right here, as you can see, like with this deployment, all this terrain that you have here, just to show everyone, right? Like, you see how open that is? How much space? This is yes, dude. This is like you're literally hiding behind a wall in this mission. Literally. Yep. The gaps between these sections, like this section right here and here, is so marginal. You're poking out units and shooting things here, and nothing else is going to be able to interact with you, basically. Right? So take advantage of that. Now you have an opportunity to take advantage of cover, ruins in this actual match. Indirect fire. Don't forget indirect fire and Purge the Foe. That is an actual thing. And Plague Burst Crawler, for those of you, I'm going to give a plug here to our own network, right? But we just finished talking to Steve Trimble. Steve Trimble, Plague Burst Crawlers are the best unit in Death Guard. So if the best player of Death Guard that literally just won Tacoma for the second time is saying that Plague Burst Crawlers are deadly, listen to that man, right? Be careful. Be careful with Plague Burst Crawlers or any indirect period, which is really good for killing on the first turn and then hiding your entire army behind full cover.
I have fear in my soul when the TO of an event is telling people to think about bringing indirect in their lists. It's just going to be mortars and exorcists everywhere.
I like a party, man. What can I say? I love to see confetti. Confetti on body parts.
All this is subtle propaganda to get the snaz wagons back on the table.
Yes. Please. Can I have a proper orc buggy army? Honestly, I think they just won a GT over the weekend, too. Little side note. Or 2 weeks ago.
So, a couple thing about this. So, and actually, that's buddy, you beat me to it. Perfect setup. I was just going to say, so you might think those 2 center L's are a good place to stage. Do not, because if you're anywhere in there, there is a very open sight line to shoot you if they can see you, because you're touching the terrain piece. Do you mind highlighting those 2 that are near the center with the blue? Yep, that one right there. Yep. Just kind of show them how steep the sight line is across the table.
Oh yeah, all of this.
No, the other way, from ruin to ruin. Like you can see almost into the straight across the table.
Yep. No, straight across the treadmill. Yeah.
So if you're
Straight across
touching
there.
those, you are opening yourself to all of that.
Yep.
Instead, where you want to hide is the other L that's not in your deployment zone. That's like cut through by it.
Yep.
This one, the one at the
right
top
here?
and the one at the bottom. Yeah, because if you see how close that corner is to the center.
Yep.
I played a friend of ours, Brian. I'm just gonna doss him. It's fine. He doesn't care. He had a unit of 8-bound sitting in there, 3-man, with his demon prince outside, just towing on the center objective, and it's within range to get its loan off.
Yep. Just in range, probably towing right here, and just like, come and get me, baby.
That's exactly what he did, and I did. It hurt, but I did it. But
DP right here. Yep.
That is so close. You don't even need it. Even a Terminator unit who can't advance and charge can validly threaten that center objective. But to answer your question, you want a stage right there.
Yep.
I always, I don't do the whole inch away from the wall on in this situation, because if they're able to get that deep into my line, an inch isn't going to save me at that point. I have bigger problems.
Yep.
But yeah, so that's your staging point. As well, if you have those lone ops we were talking about, they're great. Where the other two on the two corners, the small rectangle and the larger one with the objective on it meet. Yep. Right there. I always put my lictors right there. I put 2 lictors there, one to screen and one to go up and touch that objective, and it's so good.
Yep. Perfect. This is perfect positioning right here. I love this. Just be leery about things, right? Because these walls are usually not too long, but units over here that can scout fast or move fast can hit units over here. But like a single lictor, yeah, you're going to be able to tuck away right here into this ruin.
They're lone up and they fight first. Come at me.
Yep.
So if you don't play Tyrannid, you don't have a fight first lone op like Mephiston or something. There are analogs you can choose. For example, a Justiciar with Inner Circle Companions is a great thing to sit there. A little more expensive than a lictor, but a lot harder to remove. A lot more investment.
No, that's a great point you're bringing up, because there's a great strategy for people. Let's say, for example, like me, a World Eaters player, and I attach a character to a unit. I don't attach that character to this unit because I want him to be single, so he can hold this expansion over here, right? Or this objective marker, rather.
Yep. And even if for all the chaos
spawn. Yep.
That is a great spawn point, because spawn are always not worth the trouble to take out, but you have to.
Yep.
So I hope that answers your question, Caesar, to kind of stage just outside your deployment zone and not in the death trap that is that center ruin.
Yep. Oh, I'm sorry, dude. I can't see anything because I'm on the PDF. So thank you for taking care of all of the comments and things, because I can't see any of it.
Yeah, you're good.
All right. So before that, we're going to go into a commercial break. We're going to pay the bills real quick because I got to feed Regal. All right. And then we'll be right back. We'll talk about our brand new sponsor. There's going to be at Grand Onslaught 10 and at Crucible as well. So stay tuned and locked in. Introducing Warhammer Station, your premier destination for Warhammer 40,000 and tabletop gaming accessories. Whether you're a seasoned veteran or new to the hobby, Warhammer Station offers a curated selection of high-quality products to enhance your gaming experience. Warhammer Station offers Warhammer 40K MDF terrain. Elevate your battlefield with intricately designed terrain pieces, including the Pariah Nexus terrain set, crafted from durable MDF to bring your games to life. Warhammer Station also offers gaming tokens. Keep track of in-game effects with precision using our range of tokens, such as the Battle Shock tokens and Oath of Moment tokens, designed for clarity and ease of use. Warhammer Station is dedicated to delivering exceptional products and service to the gaming community. Explore their full range of offerings and enhance your tabletop adventures by visiting their online store today. All right. Yeah, make sure to go check out Warhammer Station. They have Death Guard products like widgets and things like that if you're looking for particular products and accessories. They also have terrain. You get a 10% discount if you put in Onslaught Gaming in there. They have blood trackers, the blessings trackers for world leaders and things like that. Tons of accessories, tons of things for the game. So go ahead and check them out. But to answer MTG's question, so the newest sponsor we have, so everybody's been going on a rave about the new laser lines. Okay, I like to pay attention, like any good manufacturer, I guess you can put, right, in quotations, right, or any good company that pays attention to their consumers, their clients, and their friends, community. I wanted to bring it to you all. So we have Rexer's lasers. We're gonna have about so shout out to Rexer's lasers. Thank you very much to them being our brand new sponsor. And we're gonna have about 30 lasers over the weekend. Red and blue ones too, or red and green ones.
So win your matches, because if you lose, you're going in the laser.
Yeah, everybody's been going crazy for the new lasers, and they're the big lasers too. They kind of laser the entire table, not the small ones like Army Painter has. Oh no, did you fall?
Sorry.
All right. So go. What? My man over there is trying to do homework while he's working. I don't know what's going on.
No, my HDMI cable came unplugged from my computer, so my co-monitor went black. I'm a professional.
He's done this. You know, this is his first day, so don't worry about it. All right, going on to day 2 of Grand Onslaught 10, and then we'll go through this rapid fire style. We're going to end up going to supply drop on tipping point for the first match of the day. So about 9:30 in the morning. We're going to go into a lunch once again. Enjoy yourself as long as you're not acting belligerent, disrespectful, and things like that. Because people know at Onslaught events, I am not going to play those particular games with you. And then Mission O, Terraform on Crucible of Battle. If people are noticing the... I know,
so good.
I know on Crucible of Battle too. It's a juicy one, right? So that's for all the marbles. The last boss, you got to fight that person to take all the wins, right, for the victory. So break it down for us, Reigel, if you want to do this. If not, I'll take it. But it's GW Layout 1 and Mission B. This is going to be supply drop.
I'll let you start. I've been doing a lot. I'll let you start on this one because I want to talk about Terraform a lot. So
let's do it. So on Mission B, first of all, this is a high scoring one, right? Going second, once again, is probably going to be very beneficial for you on this one. 15 points in the 5th battle round because these objective markers are going to disappear. So you're going to have your alpha and omegas. As we all know, the center doesn't disappear anymore. So that ends up staying there, right? Yeah, center stays. Yes. Yeah. Yes. I know. I always get confused with all the versions, right? And all the FAQs correlate in my mind. Well, and I'm like,
it should be fault because they did one means go and the other one is the one that stays instead of both of them meaning go. Correct. They could have just made the alpha leaves first, the omega leaves second, and it would have, but it's not you. But yeah, the middle stays. So now the only variable is whose natural expansion is going to disappear top of 4.
Exactly.
Notably, it is top of 4, so you do get 2 turns of scoring on it before you have to, realign your game plan.
And it's 8 points at that too, so the pressure is on because 8 points can be a lot. But I've seen a game. I wanted to say it was you, but I believe it was just one of your friends, and that's why I'm thinking it too. That over the weekend or a couple weeks ago, they allowed someone to hold the 4th round one for 8 points. Because they knew they were going to hold the 5th round one for 15 points and committed their entire army to the 15 points and abandoned the 8-point one and ended up winning, I think, the game by 3 points. So,
there is some strategy to, conserve for 5 and just get the big one rather than trying to burn yourself out to even get there.
Exactly. Especially if this is your deployment zone, right? This entire area over here. And maybe you set up and deployed more over here, so this is not your natural expansion, and it's going to be this one over here. Maybe you might have to abandon this one, right? Maybe you might have to give your opponent the 8 points. Maybe not. I don't know. It might be too grave, especially if you're letting them sit there for a couple turns, because 5 points plus that fourth turn 8 points is going to be major. I mean, just between 2 turns, that's our 3 turns. That's 18 points.
So something I like to do, and this is my play style, and what my army allows me to do. It's why I like Tyranids. They let me play the way I want to express myself in the game. So consider that when I give my opinions, it is based from how I enjoy the game. But I actually play for parity turns 1 and 2. So I let my opponent set up with relative little interaction. And then turn 2, I'll go and harass them. It's trying to hold more than me. So I get 5, they get 5. They're not getting 10, I'm not getting 10. And then turn 3 and 4, I'll try and deny with gargoyles, gene stealers, execrete shooting to take away 13 points from their board. So even if they score that 15 on bottom, I'm either like 3 points ahead because I held an extra 5 they didn't, or my secondaries are just better than theirs and I win. I think you said high scoring. I think that this can be a high scoring game, but more often this is a very close scored game. I've seen a lot, unless someone gets blown out, it's usually like 5-5, 5-5, 8-8, and then 15 at the end, and it's like a difference there.
No, this is a late game mission, right? This is where at the late game is where you're going to explode. You could potentially get like 35 points between turn 4 and 5, right? Which is outrageous between your objectives. If on top of that, if you're a challenger, right? On top of that, so there are multiple factors into that. But yeah, there's so many points that you can get between. Yeah, dude, seriously. I've seen it. I've seen someone be down 20 points, hit sabotage, right? Hit sabotage, and then hit like the Omega at the end of the game and like be up 28, and then go up 28 points and be up by like 5.
That's exactly why I try and deny, turns 3 and 4 for that exact reason. Because if we're relatively equal, then I get a 10, you get a 5, I get an 8, you don't get an 8. Suddenly I'm up, 18, and even if you get that 15, you're still behind on 3. And there are not very many armies in the game, or opponents for that matter, that I've come across that can outscore me on secondary cards. Now I will say, with the addition that you brought up, challenger cards, this is not time for contentiousness. Everyone calm down. It's a part of the game. We all have to accept it maturely. That is a factor, because it usually shouldn't be a problem until turn 3 or 4. So, anywhere from 6 to 9 points from challenger cards. But if you notice, 6 and 9 is higher than 5 and 8. So those could come up. Even if you deny a primary, the use of those cards could kind of pseudo give it to them anyway. So don't think denying once gets you, out of the rabbit hole that you might think you're free and clear of. Yep. But as you said, it is very much a late game mission. It is definitely a conserve resource mission, and it's going to be the center.
Methodical. Be methodical and patient in this, right? And that's a lot of people don't know how to be patient, but you got to be patient in some of these missions.
Also, it is Shadow in the Warp is just the funniest rule on this singular mission. I have made people lose because like, this unit can make it there. I'm like, cool, shadows. And they're like, they failed though. And I'm like, cool, no points for you.
No points for you.
It is the most zero skill play you can make. I'm man enough to admit that, but again, God, it's funny.
No, that's great gameplay. That's big brain play. I love it.
It's also just as funny to call shadows, watch every single thing pass, except like the 2 guys who are never going to touch the objective anyway. Equally as funny, and I can admit that too. It's just like, that's what that feels like. All right. Yep. So this is the other layout, which as we've already said, much more defensible.
Yes. It really hasn't changed much more other than what you're saying, right? You get more cover. You have more possibility to hide behind things. On Tipping Point in this mission itself, it allows you to really position yourself to get all of those alpha omegas and late game points. So this really leans into it.
There is a looks minor, but actually a really big difference. Scroll back up to layout 1 real quick. So you see here your home, where your 2 terrain pieces and your home objective and that center L are both places you already want to be, are great for staging to attack the center.
Yep.
You're relatively protected and you're relatively close with maybe some advancement charge or in transport. If you go down to layout 6, you really only have that one center L we talked about from Struggle Bus asking a little bit ago.
Yep.
So
this one, yep.
No, not that one specifically. You can hide behind that one, but you're really far back from the center. That one.
Oh, you're so this one, yeah.
Yeah. So, and even if you're holding your expansion and your expansion disappears, you are almost twice as far away than anywhere you would be on, layout 1 to attack it. So, if you get layout 6, not only plan for resources for the late game, but make sure you're positioning yourself a turn ahead. Because the worst feeling in the world is to have a plan and then realize you didn't use those extra 2 or 3 inches of movement a turn or 2 ago, and now you can't even make it.
To execute it, yep. And this is like 7 inches away, too. This is like 6-7 inches, dude. This is nothing.
Yeah, that one. But if you go look at the where the bottom objective is. No, stay on that. Yeah. Or either one of the no man land. Those are like, 14 inches away if you're hiding behind a wall.
Yep.
So it's like twice as far. So yeah, just be aware, not only having the resources, but being in it. Because I have seen people, and I've done it myself, where I just kind of got lazy, moved, okay, here's good enough. I can move 8, but I'll just move it 6. I don't have to. And then next turn, I roll a 3 on the advance. I needed a 5. It's like, oh, what if I'd have moved the other 2 inches, that play would have worked.
Worked, yeah.
So just if you get 6, positioning is more important, not necessarily for defense, but to project that threat we talked about at the beginning of the episode.
I agree. I think it's kind of rinse and repeat, and on supply drop, it just becomes more advantageous for you to position, right? So.
Yep, and supply drop, really, a lot of people don't like it because of the objectives and, the imbalance of what is occurring first. I think it's a real good skill of player pivoting. Can you change to changing circumstances? Yeah. Adjusting
in game, which takes people who have an understanding, who are and cognizant, aware of that right before the game. So, and we can all do it. It's just people go into the game for their own reasons, and sometimes they don't think of it.
I bring it up. I will tell you all, if you get good at supply drop, you will become an expert at scoring your secondary cards, because it's the same theory.
Yep.
Pivoting on a dime to go do something and learn optimally. Sometimes the optimal play is just not doing it. I'm going to be real with you. But usually there is a way that you can do it and be punished minimally.
Yep. And sometimes you have to sacrifice units too.
This is to the point that I was saying, everything I say to you all, even though I put them as opinions, it is strategy I use. And this is a good example. In the last game that me and Struggle Bus played, I tar pitted him down long enough to where he couldn't even make it.
Yep.
And it was Gene Stealers versus Chaos Knights with a Great Old One ally. And I only won that game by a single point. Had he have made it there, he'd have blown me out of the water by like 2 differential points.
Wow.
So that tar pit, it was a great game, but I had to tar pit him for like 3.5 turns to make sure, a Lancer, one of the fastest knights, could not make it to the objective to score.
Stay in your home. Stay away. Stay in your home.
Hey, we have one more. What are you doing?
I wanted everyone to see your beautiful face.
No one's here for that.
Nice close-up. Everyone starts dropping. We go from 10 views to 0.
I received fan mail asking if I could just be one of those like old style voices with the line when I talk.
Just have an emoji speaking for you.
Yeah, just in case people. Go ahead.
Just in case.
I'll say people, think that I am just coming on here spouting opinions. Like I give you guys my game theory, and things I personally practice. I'm not just spouting rhetoric I've heard or whatever. But speaking of that, boy, we are on the best mission GW's ever made. God, I love Terraform.
Going back to what he just said, I think it's fucking Xeno's propaganda, but whatever. He's trying to sway us, turn us into the hive. That's what it's really all.
I would still play Slanesh, but GW decided we're going to be PG-13 in 10th edition. I don't know, man.
Disney must have bought him out. I don't know. Moving on. Moving on. Terraform.
Harn the mildly upset worker.
Man of your heart, right? Or mission of your heart.
So from Terraform is great. There is a change, which I am actually a fan of because I believe it could be and was kind of disheartening for a early action to be done to kind of just be unanswerable all game. If it gets done end of turn 1, beginning of turn 2, that's just 3 points. You got 12 points over the game you can do nothing about. So Terraform is an action-based thing where you hold, you get so many points, and if you do the Terraform action, which start in your shooting phase if you're eligible to do an action, which is just normal game rules, completes the end of your opponent's next turn, which I believe you can terraform turn 1. That's still in, right?
You can terraform turn 1. You just don't score points to turn 2.
Well, you score your primary on turn 2 like normal, but you can perform the action.
Yeah, you could do it on turn 1. You just don't get your points to 2.
Yes. So you terraform it, and then I believe it is 1 point now for per terraform objective, not 3.
Player turn. So yeah, at the end of your player turn, you get 1 point. So every turn.
So it's a smaller differential every time, but it's per objective, and you can terraform any objective that's not in your deployment zone. So there are 4 eligible targets, 3 of them real, 1 of them if you want to rub it in. And once you have it terraformed, it is terraformed until your opponent terraforms it back. Them taking control of it, say they charge on and kill you off, doesn't unterraform it. Yep. They have to do the action and survive through your turn to do it.
And this is what we talked about earlier about going first, pressuring these objective markers, terraforming them, and then potentially either trading out units with your opponent or you sitting there existing and your opponent just scared all game long.
Yep. And this is kind of why I pointed out the deployment spots, behind that L, just out of your deployment zone, in the top and bottom corners. Behind the barrel, right there, where usually barrels or crates right there to go out. Behind the L's or even in the L's. These are all great places to scout, put your lone ops, put your infiltrators. 1, to threaten the immediate terraforms, and 2, to stop immediate terraforms your opponent might threaten.
All right, I'm going to need you to use the competitive lingo. All right, this is a house, young man. Okay, this is an L. Just wanted to harass you real quick.
That's not on a house. That's a home.
It's more like a trailer park, if you ask me, for my youth. But that's neither here nor there.
But so this is and maybe you're an army that doesn't want to pressure early, right? Maybe you're Kayun Tao, for example, and you want to play that late game thing. Yeah. Pressure, again, doesn't look like putting stuff out to go interact and die. It can be things that can get the firing lanes. It can be, that you can stop them from terraforming by killing them. They have to survive. Yep. I also believe they have to control the objective. So even just, floating on some gargoyles, for example, can stop it. You don't got to kill them like, oops, you have 5 OC with your scout squad. It'd be a shame if I had 6. So...
yeah, you could have units. Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry. I was going to say you could have units positioned here, right? So you can be in very advantageous positions in this match as well. So you have an opportunity.
That last rectangle right there in the center between those 2 ruins, that's actually where I put my exocrine. I always put 1 exocrine because it's unshootable from any lane, and with minimal movement, I can get it out to defend my expansion, with still being very hard to interact with.
I tried to make an exocrine cannon, but it didn't work out. So it's a triangle.
If you drew what the exocrine cannon looked like, we'd get demonetized. So you're fine.
Oh my gosh. Gotta love this guy. For those of
For
you,
any of you who don't know, just Google Exocrine model and look at the gun. I'm not even exaggerating.
yes, no, he's not embellishing anything.
Anyways, so on Terraform, this is the most interesting mission to me because it forces interaction from deployment in turn one, like we just talked about, but even throughout the game, your opponent and you have to decide: do I want to take Terraform back? Stop, get that. Is it worth that 1 point there? Is it worth the points for me? It does score at the I believe end of game as well. So every Terraform one gets you an extra 1, 2, 3, or 4 points once the game ends for both players.
Yeah, end of the turn. So each player scores 1 VP for each objective marker that is terraformed by then. So end of the turn. So you can have 2 points at end of the turn, or 6 points if you have all 3.
So it is a wonderful mechanic to keep you both in till 5 to get and to stop. To not allow. As for layout 1, we've kind of talked to the point. We pointed out all the zones. There we have the football plays, Madden style on here.
And layout 6 for the last mission.
Now, being the more defensive layout, this is 2 important ththings I want to say. One, I will reiterate the large deployment zone area. It is going to be much easier. I didn't say it on layout 1 layout 1 because it's a lot harder facing cognizant equal opponents, but even with Tyranids, it becomes very difficult turn 4, and 5 to screen my deployment zone. Just by the nature of, using resources and playing the game. So if someone can get back and terraform your home objective, that could break the parity of like 1-1 throughout the game. And like I said, I just, told a story where I won a game by 1 point. Give me 1 second. There was a question for you here.
All right.
It says, Lewis, do you typically select 2-inch ruins that units can stand on or only pass through but not step on? I believe this is referring to the crates.
Yeah. Different tournaments and places, events like Games Workshop. They're notorious for using pipes. Away games notorious for using crates. I use actual ruins that are about 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch thick, and they're 2 inches high. But to answer your question, no, I don't allow anyone to actually exist on top of them. So you can be in a position where maybe a Lancer maybe sits on a 6x4, not entirely because of that. So no, you can't land on those. Good question, by the way. Nice question. Good question. I'm glad.
This mission is on layout 6 is going to be a lot more even because holding this terraforming that center objective is before turn 5. It's an act of God. Good luck.
Good luck.
I can't even do it. Yeah, like you either have to be in such a dominant position that it's just kind of a given, or before trying to force them to come out. Now, again, you could let them do it if you feel like you can give up the point for a turn to let them have it and go put your resources somewhere else. Like, for example, I don't know, a secondary. I don't know, like behind enemy lines instead of coming down and trying to shoot them off it with a reserve unit, just putting it back in their backfield and maybe setting up to take their home next turn could be worth it to you.
Overwhelming.
But in general, center one is going even with lone ops and reactive move tricks and stuff. Because another thing, the way actions work, if you start an action and then you reactive move or and get in and transport, you no longer finish the action because you're not on the objective anymore.
Correct. Or heroically intervene, or Overwatch as well. Now,
they
changed that.
Yep. No more skidding around, no fighting or shooting by doing it out of phase.
And since we're on the topic of talking about rules, right? And a lot of people are listening. We will not be doing that embarking 3 inches per unit. It's going to be model. And I'll announce that too in my last email and at the event. But basically, there's an FAQ the Games Workshop put out that you can embark in a vehicle if your unit is within 3 inches. That would physically means you can conga line, string out a whole Harlequin's unit, sticky and objective marker, 26 inches away, and all hopping back into the boat 26 inches away. Just because one model was within 3 inches. We're not going to do that. No fun for the Eldar.
No, I was thinking of I'm just imagining what a Court of the Archon, what are they called? A Kabbalite, unit with next to a Raider could do.
Big. That's another one. Yeah.
Because they just got that big. Yeah, anyways, so this is going to be usually a lot more of an even match on primary because home and expansion, threaten expansion, stop them, take it, lot closer play than layout 1 because layout 1, even though the center looks like it's more exposed, it's only about half as exposed as this one is.
Yes, correct.
And there,
this
there
is literally a door. I call
Yep.
this the house, and this is the door, right? Like this entire section is just like your community, right? So you're good behind here. You're not gonna get messed with. Nobody's gonna fucking kill you right away. You're gonna be good living over here. But the second you open that door, right, to go to the center, it's bad news bears.
I'm so sorry.
You're fine. I can't even see what you're laughing for.
You say that, but I have turn 1 charged more on Crucible of Battle than any other deployment because I scout up there, go first, move my 8, advance, then charge, and just like whack. You're like, you're safe if you're behind this line. I'm like, yes, it's completely safe. The Gene Stealers can't touch you.
That's why we're pointing this out, right? So they don't go into that game and don't fall into that trap. So it's all this mission is literally all about cadence. Like you have to understand when to commit and when not to commit. Period. Hands down. This is by design why I've created all these missions chronologically like this, so they can get exponentially more challenging to the player. Because we want to see the true skills of those players, right? So, and a lot of players are obviously playing this so much that they understand it like the back of their hand. So,
I also want to point out that this is also a kind of a sneaky resource, management mission because Terraform is an action. So you need units that are freed up, not cleansing, not, recovering assets, or didn't have to advance to get there. Kind of thing. Like they need to be free and clear to do the action. Otherwise, you didn't get there for nothing because you're presumably holding the point, but you're not doing the mission for the extra points. So that includes down to turn 5 as well.
Yep. And be careful with armies that can pressure and move really fast, right? And terraform these immediately because then you're going to have to deal with that.
I personally would never do that with lictors, but someone would.
Sure.
I would absolutely put a lictor right there on the center, just barely on it. Just tell them I have 6-inch loan op, make them come out, and then hit them with Exocrines and Gene Stealers. Like how?
That's perfect for my Demon Prince. I put that Demon Prince right there, tiptoeing, right? 8-bound, Mauler Fiend, 4 Fiend, poking around the corner. Like, go ahead, touch that objective marker. Try to touch the DP. I double dare you. Double Dutch dare you.
Yeah, and these are other things, though, like we're talking, army specific, but there are things, for example, that I just said about resource heavy. Knights, big knights, not armators, don't care. Like, oh, we're doing an action, you're still getting shot.
Yep.
Good luck. So... just
good thing
be
you can't
aware,
Overwatch, but still you're getting shot.
Be aware of your opponent's rules. To the Gene Stealer thing, ask your opponent, hey, what are your threat ranges? Hey, what are your, do you have scouts, advance and charges, redeploys? And this isn't anything for this event or just in general, good practice and etiquette to prevent feels bads because there are 1,000,001 rules for every army in this game. And, it's easy to overlook or take something for granted, misunderstand or be wrong about it, and then be stuck in a position you thought you were safe from. And it's not anyone's fault. It's just, so it's always better to be clear instead of to assume. Like I tell people,
if you're going against Host of Ascension, you're in a bad place anyways. I'm just
You
saying.
would think maybe. unless you had the hunting grounds enhancement where every time something arrives on the battlefield, they got to take a battle shock test immediately.
Listen, I'm not saying a monkey is piloting this army. I'm saying someone who is competent in piloting this army.
That's fine. Take competent bad leadership battle shock tests every time you redeploy something. I don't care.
True indeed. Those are like you said earlier are my favorite ones, right? Those are the ones you're just like, yeah, I love it. Yeah, you're what? You're terraforming? You were? Not anymore.
Also,
not anymore.
Super funny thing about this, if you have lone ops you can put in the center of objectives and heavy deep strike armies, you can stop them from interacting with you, because you can just be like, this is going to go here, and this spare unit's going to go like 8 inches away, and this other unit's going to be over here, and now you can't even get within range to shoot them because you can't drop within 12.
Also, no surprise, just about all of these missions are very bad against knights. And that's a GW thing. Like every single mission is bad for knights unless you're playing like layout 7. If you're playing layout 7 and like 8, maybe you're straight from knights.
I feel like I've scarred our friend Caesar.
What's your threat range? Your strategic reserve. With the face. Love it.
He can confirm that Gene Starlers can indeed charge your deployment zone turn 1. I promised him I wouldn't do it, and I'm going to stop promising him things. Every game I promise him something, that exact thing happens turn 1.
So, as we wrap this up, you're good with this one, right? You're good.
Yeah, no, we've maddened the heck out of this. This is great. I didn't think I could get so much content out of 2 layouts, but man, we did great.
No, we did. We talked a lot of information. Hopefully, we see a bunch of people at Grand Onslaught 10. But go ahead, brother. Talk.
One last thing that I want to say at the very end. With this knowledge, I would encourage everyone to refine their lists with the knowledge of layout 1 and 6. Keep the missions in mind, of course, but have a game plan for both. Don't take an all shooting army and hope you get 6 every time for the good shooting lanes, or an all melee army and hope you get 1 for the better staging positions.
Yep.
Give yourself some room, or just be adapt. Like, I don't tailor my list for any layout. I make myself be able to play on those layouts with what I want to bring. Right. It is not always optimal, but I choose to fill in the gaps with what I'm going to call skill. We can call it arrogance. It's fine. But just be aware. The deadline, I believe, is tomorrow night, right?
It is.
And one last thing that I wanted to talk about, I went through and read the player pack because I knew we were doing this show, and you all should read the player pack. Do it. There is so much more information that you need to know if you're going than was just covered here. One thing I wanted to touch on, because I've heard about it, I've seen it, various other events through Reddit and other people. There are other ways to cheat that are not manipulating dice. And yes, the most egregious one to me, I would rather someone cheat with dice than fix their games with friends or club members.
Yes.
We all put a large portion of ourselves into this game. For some people, it's pride. Some people, it's our release. We had Chris Elfie on a couple weeks ago who said how he unwinds after a week of working. And the last thing you want to see is, or find out, is you lost because 2 friends decided they were going to give their buddy an easy win. We all go, we all play, we all take great pride in what we are able to achieve, or, whether that's winning the event or just, going 1-4, getting your first win at a GT. They're all valid. We're all at different benchmarks. It just really devalues the entire rest of the community, Lewis's efforts for people to kind of just cheat the other, what is it, an 80-person event?
Yeah, well, it's like 46 people, but yeah.
Yeah, so it devalues, the other 44 people, the other 22 tables, for that to happen. It's in the player pack. It's discussed. The consequences of it are discussed there. I have the full faith that our community is better than that. I am just, saying, if you were considering it, do consider that it isn't just, oh, hey, we'll help them out to get the best in faction or to get the golden ticket or whatever. That it is not just between you two. You are affecting everybody else above and below you in the rankings.
Yep.
So just don't do it.
I've caught two people try to collude and talk about points and things like that. I tell people all the time, I'm like, I'll zero you guys out, both of you.
Yeah.
Period. I'll zero you out. If I think anything is an oddity, if I feel anything is off, I will zero you out. But I mean, I don't want this to be a threatening show. People know what Onslaught reputation is, right? Like they understand what Onslaught reputation is. It's not a threat to me, to you. It's more so, listen, I'm very tactful. I want you to understand that you are very important to me. And if someone ruins you and your experience at an Onslaught event, I feel bad for you, right? And it sucks, especially when you're spending all that type of money. So I have to enforce the way that I enforce. I've heard throughout the years, the nicest way that I've heard it is Lewis likes to do things the way he likes to do things. Listen, I understand what you're trying to say. That's like saying, you know, oh, bless your heart, like they do in the country in the South, right? But listen, I'm here for your betterment. I'm for you all. I'm not against you. I'm your friend. I'm an ally. I'm not an enemy. Like, all I want is the best out of everyone at that event, just to see. And I'm just going to use this as an example. This is not a thing, but just as an example, so it doesn't feel like it's personal to anyone. But I'm going to make it personal to Reigel. But just seeing Reigel and how he's developed throughout the years and how he's going to continue to develop, myself just seeing that in the community, seeing him going through that is absolutely amazing. So I get a lot of gratification out of that.
Mm-hmm. And you know, I put a lot of effort and work into, you know, getting as good as I am and learn, you know, helping people out, helping Caesar, helping Anime, helping the various other, you know, members of the community, and they've helped me, you know. Caesar, like I said, I credit him with a lot of my growth as a player, because he keeps me on my toes. Anime as well, you know, he plays very differently, and I've had to learn how to like deal with those play patterns. So, and that's all. And again, it wasn't trying to be a preacher with threat. Just that's my point, is we all put a certain amount of effort, pride, whatever you want to call it, and yeah, no, I just I've seen it around, and it's sad, and I would like that it's so benign in our community, and I would just encourage everyone to keep it that way.
Yep.
Also, that is correct, and you are a sharp blade, my friend. Like I said, our last game, I threw things into the meat grinder just to win by 1 point. But that's it. That's one to get on. I know, because not everyone reads the player pack. I'm sorry you have to hear it from me, Lewis. I know. You know, you.
No. That's great. I want people to hear it from you, because for me, I'm just daddy saying things, right? Not to be anybody's daddy, but that's how it comes off to some people, right? Don't tell me what to do, right? From
everyone at the event, call him Daddy Lewis. Whole event, all of you.
Hey, listen. They used to call a very good friend of mine Daddy. All right, or Dad rather, and he was like the captain of the team. I told him one day, because he wanted me to join the team. I said, I'll never call you Dad, but I still like you.
You should have. You're not my real dad. But no judge, just Daddy Lewis. All that. But that's all.
No, I love it. I like that you read it, and I hopefully people are aware that it's there also, right? And that's more so that it covers all of our asses, right? If someone says something or does something to ruin someone else's experience, you have that document, that player packet there to protect you from that shittery.
I wish everyone the best of luck, great time, and I would highly suggest saving drunken shenanigans for, you know, minimum day 2, preferably round 5 if you're on the bottom half tables. Don't go into like round 2 after, you know, 3 rounds at the bar. You're not. I promise you, your win-loss ratio is just that direction.
Yeah. Listen, for some people, it's spinach. It's a power-up for some people, man. Some people start playing better under the influence. I don't know why, but they do.
Lewis, you are a beacon of the community. First indirect, next bring nights, now play under the influence of alcohol.
Yes! Dude,
you know what? I'm just going to work. I don't even want to play. I just want to come and see what this is going to look like at this point.
It's gonna look like a fucking frat party, man.
46 players, 30 lists, Chaos Knight indirect. I know, and the TO said to bring it.
You know that guy who apparently got banned for the World Leaders player because he kept on just shadow boxing against all of his opponents, right? And just slinging out bloody murder. That's the guy just going to be at the event.
Oh, great.
No, I kid. I JK. I super kid, of course, for those of you who hate him, right? No, he's not going to be here. But that's the type of party I'm envisioning in my mind, at least.
You heard it here first, folks. It's going to be a party. Everyone, who can go should go, participate, support, and have a great time. It's going to be good fun. Hopefully, I'll make it to next year's Grand Onslaught 10.
Well, it wouldn't be 10, so. I guess you won't ever be there.
Right.
I gotta troll you. I totally gotta troll you.
With that, I got nothing left. You got anything for the nice people at home?
I apparently have nothing left either.
We did it, guys. We broke Lewis.
It is getting pretty warm where I am right now, dude. I'm laughing so much. It's getting warm.
Dude,
it's
warm all over the place. Talking about.
And it's 9:30. It's not like it's 2:00 in the afternoon and 120 degrees in Florida.
It hit triple digits of the heat index before 9:30 in the morning. Okay, we're well and truly in it. Drink your water, folks. It is super hot out, and you will pass out. Drink water at the event, even with the AC, because you're going to be standing a long time.
Drink lots of water. Stay hydrated. You're going to have a break before round 3 on day 3. So get all the breaks you can.
Drink more water.
Yep. Drink water before, whatever. Just stay hydrated. I've asked people to stay hydrated before. They were like, yep, beer is just enough. That's fine. That's all I'm drinking. It's not going to help, but okay. Especially if it gets hot, you're going outside. But no, I just want to see everybody. Hopefully I'll see everyone. Super excited, super fun. There's going to be a ton of prizes, ton of gifts, so much cash to give away. It's going to be great, man. Hopefully.
And when he announces best in faction Reigel, no one questioned it. I promise you I earned it.
And best painted, too.
No, absolutely not. That was rigged. That is nope. Nope.
Definitely rigged.
I'm famous for my aquarium gravel.
That's it for me too, brother. So you want to say goodnight to the people so we can head out?
Yeah, everyone, have a good night. Hope you guys can make it. If not, hope you have a good weekend anyway.
I better see you at Grand Onslaught 10. And if I don't, have a great weekend. Enjoy yourself. And don't forget, Onslaught Gaming 40K, where victory is just a strategy away. As we showed today, right? Thank you very much to Reigel, as always. Love you, my brother. Love you even more, community. Have a great day. Have a great night. Have a great weekend.
See you, everyone.
Bye.